1, 2, 3. What is going on, fine hooligans? Gonna do a little morning coffee today. Now, I know I usually start these morning coffees with a little joke, but there's some stuff we gotta talk about. So we're gonna get into that, come on. Now, some people are not happy about the whole idea with the whole Patreon thing. I understand that, but at the same time, I feel like, you know, some of you folks should like try and understand, you know, I've been doing this for almost 5 years now. If there's a time to try and push to make this like at least some sort of a living or anything for myself, I have to like push towards stuff like that, you know what I mean? The only way I could really think of it was to have kind of like an early thing going with the Patreon, so at least if you're on the Patreon, you get the videos early. But if you can't subscribe to the Patreon for whatever reason, you're still gonna get that content. It's still gonna come out on YouTube. You just have to wait a couple days or whatever it is for it. So, I don't know. While I see why some people might be upset, I don't know. I think you gotta take a second and just look at the situation. You know what I mean? I don't know, yeah. I definitely, like, it's still gonna be like content on YouTube and stuff like that. I've been taking this past week to kind of plan videos out and everything, get certain ones like more ironed out, I guess you could say, for like the ideas. Yeah, I don't know. I understand, like, if you're upset or whatever, or if you feel like, you know, there's gonna be like more content on Patreon or whatever. I'm not gonna say that that's not the case, because if there are things that I put them on Patreon, there's exclusive videos on the Patreon right now, excuse me, that haven't come out on YouTube. So yeah, it's just one of those things, folks. You gotta roll with it, you know what I mean? And it's also like, come on, look, the Patreon is either $2 a month or $5 a month. That's it. I'm not, you know, I'm not charging you guys 20 bucks a month or 15 bucks a month or 25 bucks, whatever it is. You know, I'm not trying to pull some Kanye West shit and like think I'm a fucking genius and you guys all have to follow me or something. You know what I mean? It's not like that at all. The Patreon's there if you want to join it. If not, you're still gonna get content on YouTube. So, but also, like, I'm not saying any of this to try and like be a dick or like an asshole to any of you guys. You know what I mean? I'm just voicing my side of it. That's all. Second thing I want to talk about: Disney Plus. It's officially launched and everything. But is it worth it? That's what I'm asking. So here's my thing. We're doing the free trial right now. It has a lot of stuff from childhood, you know, and while that is an appealing thing, nostalgia and all that, it's just, I don't feel, for me at least, nostalgia doesn't justify a monthly charge. You know what I mean? Also, so a lot of the Spider-Man, the X-Men, the Avengers cartoons, all of that stuff, all of that was just on Netflix like last month. So that big portion of like the animated like series stuff, I've already watched recently, or my kids have already watched like super recently. So that doesn't help. As far as the classic Disney movies, we still own a lot of them. We have a bunch still on VHS, and yes, I do own a VCR that works too. So for me at least, like the nostalgia is one of those things where it's like, well, yeah, but like I could watch this right now at home. You know what I mean? Or it's something that I've already revisited very recently. Certain things I'd click on, I'm like, oh, I wanted to see that. And they're like, coming, you know, fucking August of 2021. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I'll just wait a fucking year, I guess. I'm not trying to hate on Disney Plus. The Mandalorian, I've heard only good things about it, really. I haven't seen it, to be honest. I don't know. It's also kind of weird. I don't know why they're doing like the weekly episode release kind of thing. Maybe that's me being so used to just like binge watching a season kind of thing. But like one of my first thoughts was like, well, if I'm not gonna keep paying for this, I might just wait till the season's over and then I'll watch the season when it's done kind of thing. I don't know. For me, it's one of those things, like the nostalgia one, it feels like it's very few kind of things where I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I don't have that. But already, like that nostalgia is kind of worn off. Where it's like, well, yeah, I saw this when I was a kid, but I'm not gonna watch it 2-3 more times just because it's on a streaming service. Nostalgia wears off. With streaming services and stuff like this, you have to have kind of original content and new content coming out. For example, Netflix and Amazon Prime. The Prime Video. Prime Video has The Boys, has Lore. If you haven't seen that show, Lore, oh my goodness, that is really good. Bit of a brain fart there. But they have The Boys, they have Lore, they have Carnival Row. They have a whole bunch of shows that I haven't even watched yet, and movies, to be honest. Netflix, of course, like, you know, Stranger Things, that became like a cultural thing. Or culture, I don't know, that came like a societal thing. Like everybody knew about Stranger Things. Whether you've seen it or not, you've heard of it. Coming in December, they have The Witcher. Black Summer came out, I believe, this year. Like Netflix always has original stuff coming out. You know what I mean? As far as I can see right now, Disney Plus has The Mandalorian. And, you know, you got to look at it from like a consumer or a customer point of view kind of thing, where it's like, legit, like, think of it like, you know, does the monthly charge justify the nostalgia? Are you going to keep paying, well, whatever it is, 11 bucks a month or 10 bucks a month, whatever, to just keep watching stuff that you've already watched? Eventually, for me at least, that wears off. Because I'm like, well, I've already seen this. Why am I gonna pay to watch this kind of thing? I could watch this for free right now. You know what I mean? Now, for this, I am not talking about the people that have it and maybe they don't use it, but they have it for their family members that can't get it. I totally understand that, folks. I'm not gonna say who, but I talked to one of the Hooligans who has family, I believe in, I'm gonna get this wrong, I wanna say Singapore. If I'm wrong about that, I am so sorry. Correct me, please. But they have it for their family that Disney Plus isn't available there. That makes sense to me. If it's something that they wanna check out, especially if it's like, you know, a family member that has little kids and everything, that makes a lot of sense. I totally understand that. You're gonna pay for it. Your other folks are gonna be able to enjoy it too because they can't where they are. I totally get that. I am coming at this from the point of view of just me for myself kind of thing. I don't know. Right now, at the moment, I don't feel Disney Plus has enough original like content that they launched with. Like we can watch all the MCU movies again. I'm not a huge fan of those, so that's kind of out the window for me. To watch all the Star Wars movies on there. I own them all, so that doesn't help. So literally for me, all it leaves is the nostalgia feel, which we've talked about, or The Mandalorian, which again, I'm gonna check out. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna wait for the season to be over and then just watch the whole thing, to be honest. One thing I wanna throw out, listen, I might be one of those nerds that watches the like interviews and behind the scenes stuff and everything. You know what? I'm not even gonna spoil that for The Mandalorian, folks. Don't worry about it. Moving on. God damn. Said this was a morning coffee and I've taken like one sip. Jeez. You gotta be careful with that mug. Keeps the coffee nice and toasty. Burn my lip. All right, folks. Gonna get on out of here now. Just a couple things I wanted to talk about real quick. Got them out. Hopefully with the whole Patreon stuff, you folks see what I'm saying. I really hope it didn't come off as me kind of like being an asshole. That's 100% not how I intended it. And as for the Disney Plus stuff, I've gotten the pleasure of talking with a couple of you Hooligans about it. I would love to hear more people's thoughts. So comment below or hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. Same name as on here. Can't get it confused. Makes it real easy. Bam. So, mwah, mwah, mwah for you beautiful fat jays, all my quiet kids, freaks, and weirdos. For the love of everybody, keep being weird, and I'll see ya this weekend for a podcast.